Hi, guys. Welcome to our little FAQ session with some coaches on the team. We wanted to set aside some time for you guys tonight to just kind of go over some frequently asked questions that people have before they sign up to become a coach. So in the event page today, we covered a lot of different topics, and I just want to touch really quickly on the one topic of the different types of coaches that there are. So for starters, there is someone who can coach just purely for the discount. So if you're just looking for a 25% discount on your products or on your Shakeology at a cheaper price, you can sign up as a coach. The company allows us to sign up people as coaches just so they can receive the discount monthly on their Shakeology. So that is an option. The second option is a hobby coach, and this might be someone who just wants to pay a smaller portion, a small bill, or just wants to make some extra money for groceries or for fun things that you like to do. And then the third person would be someone who is looking to build a business with the potential to be a full-time income business. So just wanted to cover those again really quickly because I've gotten a few messages with questions about different types of coaches, how much you have to do, and so on and so forth. But my friends and I here, we have all pulled together some questions to answer for you guys. So you actually get a bunch of coaches' opinions on some different topics here on this call tonight, which is so fun. So starting off, our first question is going to be, how much time does it take to be a successful coach? And I'll go first since I'm talking already. Basically, for me, how I like to explain this is when I was first starting out, I committed about a half hour a day to my new coach trainings. And then I committed about another half hour in the day to building my business and getting it started off right by reaching out to people and being an apprentice coach with my upline coach in a challenge group. As my business grew, and as I found my passion to help more and more people every month, I set aside more time. So the time that I've allotted for my business has kind of grown with my business. But the nice thing about it is that the ball's always in my court. Whatever time I want to dedicate to my business that day, I do. There are days where I teach dance for 12 hours and I really can't touch my business at all. And that's okay. I just pick it back up the next day. So that's pretty much how I go over the time management and how much time it takes to be a coach. Michaeline, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so for me, I am a stay-at-home mom, and my husband works a lot, so I have a lot of the responsibility with the kids and the household and everything else that both parents do. So for me, most of my business is built during nap time, and I take it one nap time per day. My kids, I know when they're going to be napping, and that is whenever I have my to-do list. I do also a power hour in the evening after the kids go to bed. So I have my hours set around their schedules and what we have going on. They each are in preschool. However, they are not in preschool at the same time, so that doesn't mean that I get to do a lot of work during then. I usually just get back to them or back to messages during that time. And so for me, it is after the kids go to bed at night, I put in a little bit of time, and then during that nap time, hour and a half during the day. And so far, it's been working for me. That's kind of how I've gotten my business to where it's at right now. And I don't plan on changing that, even if my time did open up, because I'm putting in part-time and I'm making a full-time income.
Cool. Jess, what about you?
Yeah, so my situation's a little bit different. I actually just transitioned out of corporate America a couple of months ago. So when I started my business, I was working full-time. I had an infant at home, and my husband and I had started a business. So I really was working it very little a day. I'd work during my lunch, and then after my son went to bed, typically on my new coach trainings and things like that, so I could learn what I was doing. Now my life is different because I'm home with him full-time. So I work while he naps. I actually like to get up early. I like to have some quiet time with coffee and my dog. So I work a lot of my business in the early morning. And for me, it's just all about structure, to be able to just do what I need to do and be present in every moment. So if I'm hanging out with him, I'm hanging out with him. If we're having dinner, then we're having dinner. And when it's time to work, I just have to be laser focused and work. That's it.
Awesome. Kristen, what about you?
Okay, I actually was able to leave a full-time office job myself. So a lot of me, whenever I first started out as a coach, was kind of before I would head into the office, and then during like lunch breaks, and a little bit in the evenings before I would head into teach. Now I teach dance full time, so I do a lot of my invites and just Beachbody business work either early in the morning before I head into teach, or sometimes on my 15-minute breaks, because it doesn't take much longer than that. And then also, like if I have a longer period of time throughout the day, I'll try to do like more of a power hour kind of check-in, or like getting my business going kind of deal. And then in the evenings is when I check in with all of my challengers.
Cool. Katie Isaac.
All right, so my situation is a little different as well. I'm a part-time stay-at-home mom, part-time educational consultant, and I actually have the opportunity to do that job both at home, and then I also travel out of state for a lot of the time. So I work my business when I'm home and working from home around my kids' schedules. I have 2 kids, so I usually do about 45 minutes to an hour when they're napping. If I can, I have a to-do list and I sit down and I really do all of my like responding to my challengers, emails, that type of thing, getting back to messages. And then when my kids go to bed, I spend about another half an hour of my day working on my business. When I'm on the road, I really can't touch my business until I get home and back to my hotel in the evening, and then I can give it about an hour. So what I love about it is that it's flexible for myself and for my schedule, because it's always changing and it looks different, and I can work everything around my kids and my family, so I never feel like it's infringing on our time.
Awesome. Mariah, how about you?
Well, I work full time, so I typically check in the morning. I take like 20 minutes just to see, because I'm on West Coast time. So everything happens when I am sleeping. So I get a lot of messages and everything, and I do that first thing in the morning. I check in with my challenge group. I typically kind of keep track of things throughout the day here and there when I have a few minutes. And then most of what I do is at night. So after the kids go to bed, then I do spend like half an hour to an hour doing posts and all of that stuff.
Cool. And Sarah?
I'm a full-time RN at a medical center here. So I work 12 hours, some nights. It's just kind of all over the place. So it does get a little tricky, but I'm able to, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
So I do probably the same as Mariah. You know, I work in the morning and then again at night after the kids are in bed. And then it's probably about an hour or 2.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so that answers that question. And I know a lot of us reference something called a power hour. And so you might be listening to this like, what the heck is a power hour? That is something that we would teach you how to do in your new coach training, and what makes up a power hour as a coach. So for me, whenever I have a busy day, sometimes my power hour is actually broken up into 15-minute increments. Like Kristen said, sometimes she has 15 minutes here or there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sit down for one straight hour to get stuff done. You can break it up, and we teach you how to do all of that whenever you get started as a coach. All right, question number 2 that we get all the time is, I don't want to sell things. I'm not good at selling things. I don't want to be salesy or sleazy or pushy. And so we just want to talk a little bit about that, because that is a big concern. And to be quite honest, that was a huge concern for me whenever I first started. I actually just signed up as a coach for the discount. I did not want to post about it. I didn't want to share about it at all with anyone. I just knew it worked for me, and I just wanted to continue on my journey. But what happened was, I saw my coach sharing her journey and how these products had helped her with certain aspects of her life. And what I found I was drawn to was not when she was talking about the products. I was just really drawn to her when she was talking about general struggles or general successes of hers. and just kind of the gaps in her life that these products were able to fill. So she had kids and she didn't have time to go to the gym, or she was intimidated by the gym, or, you know, there could be multiple reasons why you choose this route. But just seeing her share that in such a genuine way. And very rarely, you know, you don't see her posting pictures of, you know, like the products that we're using or anything like that. It's her face and what she's doing and what's worked for her. So that concern for me, I learned from her right away to just kind of do my thing, just kind of share my journey. And I chose to share it via social media and not necessarily talk about the products, but just talk about the results. Share those results that the products had given me with other people. So we like to say sharing versus selling. So, you know, that's kind of how we talk about it. Michaeline, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. So for me, I felt the same way coming into the business. A little bit of quick background about me is when I came out of college, my first 2 jobs were considered sales jobs. And I now am okay with admitting that I was fired from both of those jobs. So the word sales and thinking of another sales job definitely made me a little bit nervous, but I actually didn't ever sell. And if you have ever been in a sales position or are in one now, you know that there are steps to selling. And I never had to follow those steps here with Beachbody because I have done the same thing that Taylor did. I shared my journey. I got really great results from the 21-day fix. That's exactly what I came into this business for. And I shared that. And that is kind of, you know, how it just has gone on with me sharing my experiences rather than selling a product. I leave the selling of the product to Beachbody. They have a ton of money and they market themselves very well. So I leave the selling up to them. You're muted.
Sorry. Jess, do you have any tips on sharing versus selling?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what you guys said, I hate sales. It scares me because when people are mean, it makes me cry. My sister's in sales and she would tell me horror stories. I also came into the business strictly for discount originally, but then as I was sharing with people what I was doing, not even really that openly, like at first it was just with friends and stuff, people wanted on board because I'm just one of those consumers that if I really like a product, I talk about it a lot. If I really don't like a product, I talk about it a lot. So they knew that my feedback was genuine. I also happened to be a new mom, so working out at home was fantastic for me because I could fit it into our schedule. And I was like the worst gym goer of all time myself. So I can relate to people like that and share that with them. Like if I go to the gym, I don't know what I'm doing. So having programs and trainers actually telling me what to do to see results, that was something I needed. And that's a lot of the people that I work with at this point. That's kind of where they're at. If they went to the gym, they were like me. They were just hanging out on the elliptical for 45 minutes, not seeing results, getting discouraged. And by February, they stopped going. So I do just share a lot about what's going on with me and my journey and how I'm not perfect. I'm never going to give up Chipotle. That just is what it is. But so I don't sell. I invite people to what's been working for me. And so far that's what's worked for my business.
Awesome. Katie, Isaac, you got anything for us?
Sure. I definitely agree with everyone and don't look at it as selling. I think about talking to a best friend and sharing things that I love. So I think about everything that I see on social media, on Instagram, is someone sharing something that they love and it piques my interest, whether it's clothes, it's makeup, it's jewelry. And so having this opportunity to share something that I'm passionate about that has made an impact on not only my life, but my family's makes it so much easier. So it's really just sharing something that gives you strength and confidence and a healthy body, a healthy mind. And it's also therapy, I think, for yourself to just be able to share that journey, that you're right there in the trenches with everyone else. It's about not being perfect, that we're going to have those bad days. We're going to enjoy that glass of wine or ice cream or cupcake or whatever it is, but you're just sharing that you're normal and you're human, and this is just something that helps you and works for you and that you believe in it.
Awesome. Kristen.
Okay, so just kind of to piggyback off of Katie a little, I feel like a lot of my personal transformations of like what I share about is not actually my physical transformations, but more of like a mental transformation for me. So that's how I go about kind of sharing what coaching and Beachbody has done for me, is just by doing more of my personal changes within myself.
Cool. That's a good point too, that it's some people have transformations that you can't even see. It's on the inside. So sharing that with other people is crucial too. Mariah, what do you have for us?
I am also really bad at sales. I am not a salesperson. So I share, and that's what I do, just like you guys. And I focus on food a lot because I'm a foodie. So
Cool.
that's kind of my little thing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good point to bring up too, that there's so many different types of coaches and what they share is different. So you're going to attract people who have the same interests as you or maybe struggle with the same things you do. So the more you share unique things about you on social media, as well as, or in person, it doesn't have to be on social media, as well as the products and what they've done for you and been able to help you with, the more like-minded people you're going to attract and be able to help as well. Sarah, how about you?
For me, it's kind of similar to Kristen. I've been sharing my journey with mental health issues that I've gone through and struggled with, and I'm still learning. I really hate sales too, so I'm still learning the right approach to it.
Awesome. Okay, so that kind of wraps up that question. The question was, what if you don't like selling or don't want to sell things? So if you guys have any further questions about that, just let us know. But I'm going to move on to the last question we have for tonight. And that was, what if I'm not super active on social media, or I don't like to post a lot on social media or be super present on social media? I will just say from my experience, and my experience is rather drastic, but I really didn't post that much on social media until I took this journey into all of this, and my coach kind of told me I had to. I really didn't venture down any other path other than running my business on social media. I actually can't imagine my business thriving any other way, so it's hard for me to like think of another way to do this. However, my dad is an active coach, and sometimes I look at his business, and he does nothing on social media. He posts nothing on his Facebook. He sometimes like will try to comment on someone's picture and like post it as his status. Like he just is a hot mess when it comes to Facebook, but he runs his business completely through word of mouth and actually networking with people. So what he does is he has friends that are into health and fitness like he is. He uses the products and he shares with them, and they see physically what it's done. And when I log into back office sometimes, and he is my top producer on more than a few occasions on my team, because he just gets people really amped up about what this stuff has done for him. He uses the whole performance line. He uses Shakeology. He does PiYo every single day in addition to his cycling. And if you know my dad, you know he could just talk to a wall. He'll talk to anyone. So he does everything via word of mouth, people he knows, friends of someone he knows. He will wear my team swag everywhere and tell everyone about his shirt he's wearing. He just really goes for it. So you don't have to be super active on social media to be a successful coach. There's plenty of coaches on our team too. Like we have a top coach on our team who just the other day was like, I've never taken a selfie before. And she's been in the business for a couple of years. So you do not have to be super active. While I do think it helps, and I think for just the world and the way it is now, it is a key component for a lot of coaches. But even now, we don't have to run our groups through Facebook anymore. We can run them through the My Challenge Tracker, which is an app. So I'm running my first group in that manner on April 18th. I haven't really dove into it yet, but I was part of a group this past month, and it's awesome. There's so many people in it that I haven't been able to work with previously because they just don't use Facebook. Michaeline, what do you have for us?
So I did post on social media quite a bit, even before Beachbody, partially because I also plan events, so I'm used to talking on social media. However, some of the Beachbody stuff that I talk about, I actually use a Facebook like page instead of my Facebook personal page. So some people who may be not comfortable with just coming out of the gate and posting on social media, that's totally okay. You might want to consider the route of a like page, because everybody there has chosen to be there. They aren't just seeing things up in their newsfeed that they may not want to see or whatever. Everybody's different on social media. So I personally use my like page to build my business. So I know that it's still along the lines of social media, but it is an outlet that I use to be a little bit more free when talking about my fitness and health journey, because everybody that has liked that page, they want to see my posts and they want to hear about that. So I'm definitely more open to posting on that page than I am my personal page.
Cool. Jess?
Yes. Okay. So this topic was sensitive for me at first because, I've been on social media since college, but I didn't do a lot of posting. And when I did, it was just nonsense. So I was really nervous to put myself out there in the beginning, simply because I care way too much what other people think of me in every aspect of life. It's probably one of my husband's biggest pet peeves about me. For example, I dropped my son yesterday in the restaurant and he got a bloody nose. And when I came home, the first thing I told my husband was that 20 people were looking at me. And he was like, that was your biggest concern, was that people were looking at you. So I was really scared to post on social media. And I can understand when people are, but what I realized was that I'm adding value to people's lives. And kind of like what Mikey said is if they don't want to see it, they don't have to. I look at stuff on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that every day that is negative. So I like posting, uplifting things, and just being real and being honest. I am now at a point in my business where I'm transitioning to a business page also. But I've been doing this for 14 months now and have run my business primarily through my personal page. To this point, I've never gotten any negative feedback from it. And that's just kind of where I'm at. It's actually been really good for me to kind of build that confidence in myself.
Awesome. Kristen.
Okay, so I feel like I've never had like a huge problem posting on social media, but it was never the things that I post now. Like if you would have asked me a year ago if I would be making posts about my attitude for a day, I probably wouldn't do it, nor would they be as happy as what they are now. So I feel like with everyone, like it just kind of eventually evolves into getting over that fear. It takes some time, but you definitely can. I don't personally have much experience outside of doing Facebook posts. I don't really do too much of word by mouth. That's where I kind of shy up and, don't share as much. So.
Mariah?
So I've used social media throughout my life. Once I became a mom, though, I didn't ever post anything because I was just busy all the time and I never posted anything. And particularly when my second came, I didn't ever post anything. And so when I started with Beachbody, I started posting, and it's been a really good experience. Like everybody's really positive, and I have a like page too that I use, but I use it for food. So it's kind of like my food inspiration page, and I just post about what I'm eating and recipes and stuff like that on there. So I don't really have any suggestions besides using social media because I am socially awkward. So social media is great.
But I feel like, Mariah, you really have found your niche with your social media. So like food is your thing. So that's what you post about. And then people who struggle with food or are always looking for recipes and whatnot, they come to you for that. They know that you're that person on social media for them. So that's awesome in itself. Sarah, how about you?
I found that I was worried at first that, people would get annoyed and whatever, but I found that people really like to read the posts, and they have actually come to me and thanked me for being so motivating and inspirational and telling my story. So.
Awesome. Katie?
I personally enjoy social media, but I also enjoy connecting with people face to face. So in my community, I teach Insanity, so that's one way that I connect with a lot of moms. But just joining mom groups and being a part of conversations with them, and kind of like Taylor said, just talking and sharing and being approved with the product live and in person. I enjoy sharing the journey, and so waking up every morning and seeing, that's kind of what got me started, was seeing Taylor's posts about her journey, and so I just kind of wanted to duplicate that. And so being on social media has been something that I've enjoyed, and I run a like page as well. So you just find what's comfortable for you, and find your niche.
Yeah.
Katie, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that made me think too, because I also do a fit club. Well, I don't know if you said fit club, but I do a fit club, and I'm also a PiYo instructor. So those are other ways that can get you away from the computer and in front of people and talking about the business. Beachbody does allow you to run what they call a fit club, and you can use the workout videos and play them for larger groups of people in your community so that they can kind of sample the workouts, see what you're like as a coach before they decide to be in one of your challenge groups. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because I do that as well. I'm also part of a MOPS group around here because I definitely need human, non-toddler social interaction on like a daily basis. So I definitely do a lot of my business outside of the computer as well.
Awesome. Okay. Just to touch on that as well. That is a really good point. I don't do well sitting in my house working. I actually went to Panera today with Michaeline this morning, but I sat there for 4 hours, because when I come home and just sit here, I like play with the dog. I'll sit at this desk and like put chapstick on for 20 minutes. Like I will just distract myself from everything than from what I should be doing. So I am a live instructor as well. And just getting out there and meeting people is always awesome. But I also wanted to say really quickly, I remember my life on social media before I became a coach or became involved as a challenger, and now I see what it's like now. And I couldn't ask for a better transition. I remember when I would log on to Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and I would just see negative, nasty stuff all the time, or people, like just being mean to each other. And then I became part of this community, and now my Facebook is just full of people making healthy choices, people just motivating each other and just trying to inspire each other. So I just try to focus on that. So if it's just nerves about posting that you're uncomfortable with, you just always have to remember, what I try to tell myself is that there's one person out there that might need to see what you have to say that day. And just speak to that one person. Don't think about the masses and what they might think. Just think about the one person that actually needs some help that day. And that helps me. Yeah.
And the transformation of what we used to be like on social media till now, like sometimes my time hop, I was like,
I know.
Why did I post that?
Yeah.
It just pops up in your time hop. But so my posts have become more positive, but you're right. Your newsfeed is, and I mean, that really helps day to day. And I feel sad for people that post things like, my newsfeed is so negative, I'm leaving Facebook for 5 months, or whatever their decision is, because there's like so much negativity because they're not in a positive community with a positive environment.
Right. Okay, so last question. I'm kind of going off script here, ladies, but I just thought of this while we were talking. I just think that each of us really quickly should just go around and say what our favorite thing about being a coach is. Michaeline, you go first.
I thought you were first.
I'm going to go last.
Okay. Okay. For me, and I get like, don't make fun of me because I get really excited to tell this. For me personally, if I had to choose one that is my favorite, it is the freedom that I have to make my own schedule. So I have never been a good employee. I have never been a good employer. I have been on both ends of that spectrum. And having the freedom to create my own schedule and work on my terms and create an income doing so is definitely my favorite part of being a coach.
Cool.
So hard. I want to say something
It's
else.
hard to just limit it to one.
Okay. Personally and selfishly, freedom.
Freedom. Awesome. Jess, what's your favorite thing about being a coach?
Okay, so Mikey's still one of my big ones, but I'll touch on it real quick. Time freedom is huge for me. Income is great, but for me, being in corporate America since college and going for higher education after that, and always being busy and never slowing down to like actually enjoy life, I was content in that, but I didn't realize how much I missed or didn't like the fact that I wasn't controlling my time. And setting my own goals. Being in corporate America, someone else has always set my goals for me. I've always been achieving somebody else's goal for them. So just literally being the person that's like, this is what I'm going to do today. So that is huge for me. But I would say connecting with people and reconnecting. A lot of the people that I work with today are people that I knew in high school, or people that I knew in college that, you know, life just takes you places and you lose touch with them. So reconnecting with them has been great. And then I've met so many new people that were referred to me by friends or relatives. And being a mom and going out of town for school and then moving back here, you know, I don't have a lot of people that I hang out with on a regular basis. So having all of these virtual friends is a lot of fun.
Cool. Kristen.
Okay, for me, the best thing about coaching is the new friendships that I have formed. This past year, like one of my best friends moved away, and so I was feeling very much like lost in the world. And through my team, I have like been able to reconnect with people and just kind of build new relationships and things like that. So it's just really awesome to be able to build those relationships with people that you don't even know and like have them be your best friend.
Mm-hmm. With like-minded goals, too, like
right.
People who push you. Yeah. Mariah, what about you?
I just like being a part of people's journeys. Like I like getting to be involved with people having a really good experience and adding some positivity to their lives. And plus I get to talk to people that I haven't talked to in a really long time because I'm terrible at staying in touch. So, but I just really like being part of the journey, I don't know, and encouraging people.
That's awesome. Sarah?
I really love helping other people find their goals and for fitness and even just in health. I've been able to help a lot of people from work that were trying to lose weight or maybe like tone up or whatnot. But also, like everybody else said, is just the friendships that we've gained through the team.
Awesome. Cool. Katie?
There are so many things that I love about coaching, and everybody said it. I love the time freedom and the income, and really being able to do what I want when I want, and that it can go with me anywhere that I am, whether I'm home or traveling. But I also just love being surrounded by a lot of uplifting, supportive women that are real and honest and down to earth, that go through the same struggles that we all go through, and just having so many virtual friends that every now and then we do get together, and just like being pushed to be your personal best, both physically and mentally.
Awesome. All right, so I think mine would be being able to help myself by helping other people. I think my story kind of stems from a place of, like sadness and not really feeling a purpose or a reason to really get up in the morning, and becoming a coach gave me that reason completely, because I felt like other people needed me and I needed to share my story from, like grief to happiness again, or just making it through the days or having a reason to make it through the day. And in turn, whenever I help other people find the best versions of themselves or work towards becoming the best versions of themselves, I in turn help myself. So I know that might be a little bit abstract, but I think just every day I feel like I have a purpose is what it comes down to. That's really it. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? Did we cover everything? We're good. Greta, do you have any questions? I see you in the corner.
No, I really don't. I was actually late getting on, so.
All right. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, I will upload this recording into the event page. So if you guys have any further questions or you want to add anything, go ahead and add it there. But it was great hanging out with you tonight. Shannon, even though, oh, hi, sweetie. She said, even though she's at work and listening incognito, she wanted to hear our voices and see our faces. Hi. We haven't seen Shannon in a while. Awesome. All righty. Well, we'll catch up with all of you guys later. Have a great night. Hope you have a good night. Bye-bye.
You too.
Thanks for coming.